In this video, we're going to be jumping into Meta's Ads Manager, and I'm going to show you how you can actually build out ads to get new guests to your church like clockwork. Now, the whole goal of these ads are to get people to plan a visit to your church. If you want to learn more about the plan your visit ad strategy, go ahead and watch part 1 to this video by clicking here or the link in the description. Now let's go ahead and jump in. Start by going to business.facebook.com/ads manager. Wait, okay, yes, I know you're about to watch this video, but let's be honest, this is a 30-minute long tutorial video. You have better things to do. We here at Church Candy actually do this for churches. So our company will set up and manage all of these ad campaigns for your church. If you want to learn more about that, and if you, rather than taking the time of just learning it yourself, and you just want to hire us to do it for you, you can click in the link in the description, go to churchcandy.com and book a time with our team to see if it would be a good fit for your church. Also, I want to tell you about this book, the Plan Your Visit Playbook. You can get it for free on our website. I'll also link to that below. This book goes into a lot more of this strategy, just like part 1 of this video. If you still really want to watch me build this out and you follow along, we can. Let's go ahead and jump in for real this time. Once you're here, you're going to go over to create, and keep in mind Facebook, Meta, they're changing the user interface all the time. So if my screen looks a little bit different than yours by the time you're watching this video, it's okay. I've been doing this for years and years. The steps remain the same, even if the create button's in a different place, if you know what I mean. So inside of here, we're going to select leads as our option. We're going to continue. Now, I always like to name the campaign whatever this would be. So for example, we're going to be doing a Plan Your Visit ad. So Plan Your Visit. You can see here, I've done some other variations of this. And then everything down here, we're going to leave like this if you want to make your screen look like mine. I don't want to do an A/B test here, and I don't want the Advantage campaign budget either. So now we're going to go down to next and go to the ad set level. This is where we control the targeting and things like that. So we're going to name this ad set headline 1 selfie video, and we will name it hook 1. The reason for this is going to be the content inside the ads, and I always like to know what is inside the ads by looking at the name of the ad set. We want to make sure instant form is selected. Now you need to go down and select the Facebook page. Once you select the Facebook page, you're going to need to make sure that you've accepted Meta's lead ad terms for the page. We're going to leave dynamic creative off. We're going to leave the optimization and delivery to leads. Cost per result goal, we will leave blank. You don't need to look at any more options. We're going to leave that how it is. And then here's the budget portion. Now, the budget is really up to you. You can go to churchcandy.com/calculator to use a free ad budget calculator that I've created for you that walks you through how much should you spend on these ads. For now, I'm going to set the budget to $5 a day because we're going to create multiple variations of the ad set, which is going to multiply this by however many variations we create. For example, if we create 10 variations at $5 each, that's going to be $50 a day. Let's go and go down here. Here's where you'll control the start and end date. Now, this is really important if you're promoting an event. You're going to want to make sure you set an end date for the day of that event. That way your ads do not continue running past the day of your event. And then come down here is the audience section. Now, if we're going to be doing a retargeting ad, meaning we're targeting people that watched a previous video we promoted, you would want to select a custom audience or create a new custom audience of video views. But for this specific example, we're just going to be targeting people that live in our city. We just want to invite people that live in our city to church. So the location, you want to make sure you set to people living in this location, and then put the address of your church. 2319 Timberlock Place is the address for my church, and that's in the Woodlands, Texas. Here's where you'll control the radius. Now, if you lived in a really rural area, you might do a 30-mile radius. Or if you live in a suburban area, we are in a suburb of Houston, 10 miles is perfect. We're right off the highway, as you can see here. And so we get a lot of people that live in Spring, Tomball, and the Conroe area that come to our church. As far as the age range goes, what we want to target are young families. So the parents of young families typically will be between the ages of 25 and a little bit older, up to 55 is kind of the max. Once you get above 55, that demographic typically would prefer more of a traditional style church, whereas we're more of a contemporary church. We're going to do all genders, men and women, and we're not going to do any detail targeting. And I always want to make sure, even if I'm not doing detail targeting, this is off. This essentially says that it doesn't matter what details you put in the targeting, we're going to ignore that and do whatever we think is best. We want to avoid that. All languages is fine. If you're in for example, if we're in South Houston or some other parts of our city, we might want to only put English on here. There's a very heavy Hispanic Mexican population in Houston, which is great, but we don't have any Spanish services. We only have English. So if you had a Spanish service, you'd want to put Spanish, that if you're promoting that, or if you wanted to only put English, it's fine. So we're going to go ahead and just put English in there. Now, as far as the placement goes, you need to think about where is this going to be placed. Now, I've seen studies that say you should always just do the recommended Advantage Plus placement, but from my experience, that's not always the case. I like to have placements that I'm controlling myself. What we'll do for placements is we will always do Facebook and Instagram feeds. We won't do any marketplace feeds. We will do a Facebook video feed and Instagram Explorer and Explorer home feed. We'll do ads in all of these places for feeds. And then since this is a selfie video, so it's recorded vertically, we will also do this for stories and reels. We'll at least do it for reels. I think the video we're promoting is about a minute long, which is a bit too long for stories. But if you have a really short, quick video that's to the point, you could do it for stories, but ours is too long for that. We're just gonna do reels. I don't like any in-stream ads. I don't like search ads. So we're going to turn those off. I don't like in-article ads or the apps and site ads. And so that's how we're going to leave the placements. We're going to go to next. We're going to name the ad the exact same thing we named the headline. So I'm just going to copy and paste that in there. And now here's the Facebook page. You always want to select your Instagram account. If you have not connected your Instagram account to your Facebook page, you should be able to have those connected in there. We're going to create a new ad. We are going to do a single image or video. And let's see. I do not want standard enhancements or multi-advertiser ads selected. Now, as we continue down here, we're going to select our video. So here, you can just delete whatever media automatically is put in there. We're going to add a video and then select the video for our ad. For this one, we're going to be using this video. You can upload a video right here. Next. Done. Click through that. And now we have a video. Now this says cost may rise due to few ad creatives since you're only using one. That's fine, you can ignore that. Now let's look down here and put in our primary text, headlines, and descriptions. So here is our ad format guide. I will link below this video. So this is the exact set of ad text that we use for everything that we do here at Church Candy. Now, let's walk through this. You've got headlines. Here's the different variations. Now you would obviously plug this in with the name of your church where it is starred out. And now with the ad text, here's that. You'd obviously want to fill out with the info with your church. And a lot of the times we'll take the ad texts and create different variations where all we're changing is the hook. The hook would be the first couple of lines of texts. So here's some different variations for that. For now, we're just going to start with ad text 1. I'm not going to make any changes to it for time purposes. If we come into the primary text, we will paste that there. Now, the Bible says God didn't make you do life alone. That's by the technology we have in 2023. is great for connecting with others, but why are so many people more lonely than ever? Why are depression rates an all-time high? You can feel free to read through the rest of this if you would like. Now we're gonna write out a headline. I've got headlines right here. I'm gonna copy this and paste it right there. And for the description, for the most part, you can leave blank. One thing that you want to keep in mind is the ad preview right here. See how it says plan your visit to, if we put Vibrant Church in there, the arrow should be pointing to the button. Now, I don't like the call to action button saying sign up. I always like it to say learn more. And so it really should be pointing to the button, but it kind of looks off-centered. So we're gonna just remove that emoji altogether. All right, so here is our ad. It's telling me it won't run on Instagram. Oh, okay, the warning keeps popping up and then going away, so we'll address that when we need to. So now we need to create an instant form. I already have some created, but I'm gonna show you how to create one new from scratch. So we're gonna create a new one. First, by go into the settings, select the language. I always like to set it to open. If you have it set to restricted, people cannot share the ads or tag their friends and let them plan a visit, so we want it to be open. Now, for the name, we will just name it PYV. And then I'm gonna put the date. I'm recording this on 12/22/2022. The form type, I always like to do higher intent. This will typically get us a higher show rate of the people that plan a visit. And then in the intro, I'll always use the image from our ad, but you're more than welcome to upload an image if you like. And then the headline, we're gonna take from here, the form text. So I'm gonna copy the form text, and this is actually gonna go in the actual description. In the headline, we're just gonna say plan your visit Sundays at 9:15 and 11. So this is what the form looks like. Obviously, you would fill in all of the stars with your church's info. Then whenever they click next, it's gonna take them to the questions page. Now, this has pre-filled questions where Facebook already knows their name, email, and phone number, so it'll already pull in their name, their email. You can add phone number. But what I've found is instead of doing that, go ahead and pull in their name and their email, but have a short form or short answer question that is contact cell number, as well as a question that says, how did you hear about us? Now we know how they heard about us. It's going to be Facebook or Instagram, but another question on here, by making them manually enter it, will dramatically increase the show rates. Then after that, you need to put a link to your church's privacy policy. Your website probably has one. Then this is what the review screen looks like. And then the message for the leads. I always like to say, we can't wait to meet you Sunday at, and you can put the service time, or if you have multiple service times, you'd put both in there. And then the headline, you can say, thanks for planning a visit. Right here, you can also put a link to a planning center form for people to pre-check in their kids. Now that we've created the ad and the form, let's create multiple variations. Now it's time to set up what I like to call the shotgun strategy. This is where we create tons of different variations in order to see what combination of hook, headline, and image or video works the best, and this will allow you to scale the ads and get the most bang for your buck. So what you're going to want to do is go inside here in the ad set. You're going to duplicate the ad set, duplicate, and we're going to change one thing. So instead of hook 1, we're going to use hook 2. And then we're going to leave everything on the ad set level the same, but we're going to close out of the ad set, go into the ad. We're going to now, instead of hook 1, we're going to use hook 2. Then we're going to go back to our ad text and change the hook. So instead of saying the Bible says that God didn't make you to do life alone, all of this, we're going to delete that hook and just change it for a simple hook like this. Hey City. Nope, not Hey Siri. All right. So now once we've done this, we're going to close out of the ad. So now we have two different variations here. So we can select both of these, duplicate both of them. And now instead of the selfie video, we can switch that out for a graphic or a picture from your Sunday service or just a different video. Maybe instead of a selfie video, it could be more of a professional type video. So we're going to change this to a graphic. And we're going to, for this example, just use the graphic for the sermon series that we're in. Save to draft. We're going to close out of this. Make sure you've got both of the ad sets with the graphic selected. Go into ads. Now, before we even edit the actual ads and switch out the video for the graphic, we're going to change the name. Select selfie video, change that to graphic. Save, and same thing here. Save. Make sure both of these are selected. The graphic, headline 1, hook 2, headline 1, graphic, hook 1. We're going to edit both of these at the same time. And we're going to delete all of the media. We're going to add media. We're going to add an image. And then here's where you will either upload your image. You can select an image that you've posted on Instagram. And I think that's what we are going to do today. Right. I'm going to go through, say next. So for the feeds, I like to take the recommendations as well as for stories and reels. You want that to definitely fit their, I know it says recommended, but you want it to be the actual aspect ratio of what a reel should be. And then feeds, personally, I do like the square aspect ratio. Go to next. You don't need to do any enhancements or anything like that. And we are done here with this one. So now we have 4 different variations, all with very similar, but every single ad is a little bit different. And you can see our budget is essentially being multiplied by 5 every time we create a new variation. So 5, 10, 15. Now we're spending $20 a day. And you can bulk edit these by selecting all of them, go to edit, and go to the budget and adjust that to whatever you need to do. Now we're going to select all of these and we're going to switch out the headline. So we're going to duplicate all of these, duplicate. We're going to edit each ad set, and instead of headline 1, we're going to change that to headline 2, and we're going to remove.
And make sure all of these say headline 2.
Perfect. Now that that is done, we're going to close out of here, go into the actual ads themselves, do the same thing, edit all of them, edit each ad, update the name to say headline 2, save to draft. Now if you scroll down here, we are going to update the headline. And here's the new headline. So now we've got all of these different variations. All of them have different headlines, different images, and images or videos, different hooks. So this is going to allow us, once we publish this, we can look back after a few days or a week, and we can look at the performance of them and see which one's performing best. We will turn off the ones that do not perform as well, and the ones that do perform well, we will continue to run, and we can make duplicates of that to increase the budget. The best way to see the performance is to check the results and the cost per the results. That's going to give you the best result. That's going to be the KPI that you want to check, if that makes sense. A common question I get is, how much should I spend on Instagram and Facebook ads for our church? Well, we've got a really cool tool for you. If you go to churchcandy.com/calculator, it will take you to this page. And I've got a tutorial video explaining how to use the calculator, but we're just going to jump right in and I'm going to show you exactly how I recommend utilizing this tool. So, first thing you do once you're inside here, you want to make a copy of this Google Sheet. Once you make a copy, you can actually edit it yourself. Now, the way this works is you want to put in the number of guests that you'd like to see in your church in a month. So for example, let's say we want to have 30 guests show up to our church. Now, on average, we found that each family that comes and visits our church is about 2.4 people. Sometimes it's just one single person. Sometimes it's a family of 7 or 8 people. So 2.4 is about the average that we've found. And what's the average show rate? Now, you've got to remember, the average show rate is going to be a lot different for Facebook and Instagram ads than if you're doing Google ads. And here's why. Inbound marketing versus outbound marketing. Inbound marketing would people going to Google, going to your church's website because they're looking for a church. That is inbound. And outbound marketing would be like you doing ads on Facebook and Instagram. People aren't going to Facebook and Instagram looking for your church, but they see those ads on Meta's platform. And for that reason, the show rate isn't as high, but the volume is a lot higher, if that makes sense. So 30% is typically what we see. Now, to increase this number, you want to make sure you're following up really, really well with every single person that plans a visit to your church. Now, the average cost per PYV, what we found is about $15. I've got a lot of churches that it's under $10. I've got a lot of churches it's over $30. It really just depends on how well you're optimizing the ads and what part of the country you are in. So with all of these stats, you would need to get about 42 families to plan a visit, and you would be spending $625 in a month to get 30 new guests to walk into your church. Now, in the last video, we were, in the last section, we were going over our shotgun strategy where we created a lot of different variations. Now, we had 8 variations set up. And so with 8 variations, if we're running these ads 30 days in a month, that means our daily budget per ad set would need to be $2.60. And we recommend keeping it between $2 and $5, so that's perfect. So that would mean I would need to come back into Ads Manager, select all 8 of these ad sets, and change the budget to $2.60. That would bring in 30 new guests to our church, around 30 new guests to our church in 1 month. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense, and I hope you've gained a lot of value from this tutorial. Once people plan a visit by filling out that form, you're going to want to follow up with them really well. So I recommend using a tool like Zapier to make that happen. So Zapier will actually take every single person that fills out that form on Facebook and automatically send that to whatever software you use to communicate with people in your church. For example, if you use MailChimp or Constant Contact or whatever CRM that might be, Zapier can actually send their contact information over to that platform, and you guys can set up some really cool automations to follow up with them, or at least you can send yourself a text notification and you can manually follow up with those people. So this is how you use Zapier. We're going to create a free account, and so go and create your free account, and then we'll go from there. On this page, none of it really matters. Zapier just wants to get data on you. So go ahead and just click through this. You could probably say other if it is for your church. And most likely you have less than 50 employees at your church. And we're going to skip all of this. Now we're going to create a new Zap. Now we're going to select Facebook, lead ads. And anytime a new lead, that's going to be the event. Continue. You're going to need to log in with Facebook. So go ahead and sign in. Continue. And from there, you're going to select your church's page. Then you want to select the form that you built out inside of Ads Manager. Then once you press continue, it's going to want you to test that Zap. So basically it's going to pull in the data from Facebook. And once you're done testing, we're going to continue. And this is where you're going to find your CRM or whatever software you want to send this information to. For example, if you use MailChimp, you can, MailChimp is one word. There it is, select MailChimp. For this example, we're just going to use a Google spreadsheet and a text notification. So first start by a Google Sheet. Now you're going to need to create a Google Sheet that has the following information in the fields. Personally, I like to have the date, name, email, and phone number. So you're going to need to select an event where it creates a spreadsheet row for Google Sheets, continue, and then you need to select your Google account, and it might make you log in if you haven't done any of this before. Probably it's going to make you log in. Now you need to find the Google spreadsheet. So the drive is going to be in my Google Drive. The spreadsheet, I named it test. And the worksheet is just going to be the first page. And you can see here, date, name, email showed up. We also need phone number. Okay, I guess it didn't save. Let me refresh these fields. All right, there it is. So for the date, we are going to come in here and we are going to select the create time. So if you just search time, created time, and then name, we're going to select full name. Email, we're going to select the email, and the phone number, we will select the phone number. Now we're going to continue and test the action, and it should bring that data over to your Google spreadsheet. And as you can see here, it did just that. Now we're going to add another action by clicking the plus down at the bottom, and we're going to select SMS. This is we're going to set this up to, you want to send yourself a text anytime someone signs up. That way you're notified, and then you can go in and call that person, follow up with them. Now, if you already use some kind of advanced CRM like ChurchFunnels, MailChimp, I don't know if Text and Church has capabilities with Zapier, you can send them into that software as well. But this is going to be like the simplest bare bones thing you're going to want to do. So the event is going to be send an SMS. Continue. You're going to want to connect a new account. And what this is going to have you do, you need to put your phone number and you want to select SMS. Once you do that, it's going to send a PIN number to your cell phone, and you're going to need to enter that into Zapier. Now, you're going to choose the from number. That really doesn't even matter. So just random is fine, or you can select one if you want. And then the message, you want to say new family planned a visit to, and then put your church's name. I'm putting Vibrant, and then you can put their info. So I'm going to select full name and phone number and email. Continue. And then you can test the action if you want, and that should send over a test text message to your phone. And I just got a text, and we are good to go there. So I'm gonna now publish this and turn it on, and you can name it whatever you'd like to know what this is if you're going back to reference it. So we are going to name it notification-PYB. Wow, you watched this entire video, so first off, go you. Whenever me and my team were putting this video together, we were like, okay, we want to provide value, we want to teach them how to do it, but it's a lot. It's a lot. Like just the tutorial of me, who's been doing this for years, took me like half an hour just to show you how to set everything up. So if this is a little too complicated for you and you just want me and my team to set it up and manage it for you, we can gladly do so. Go to churchcandy.com, book a time with our team. We can see if this would be a good fit for your church. Regardless, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video and share it with a pastor or church leader that you think it could help.